Kelly here, Kelly Soroka Life. It is April 11th, and we are on day 14 of our Spring Magic Challenge with the Aries new moon. And today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about astrology and tarot, and astrology and tarot together. I've been reading both tarot and astrology for a while now. And I am doing something new this year called a Decan Walk, where you go through the astrological signs with the associated cards, with the tarot cards. And it's a very interesting, it goes back to the Golden Dawn, back, 100 years ago or so, when they came up with, first of all, came up with the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck and the associations that come with it, and then kind of put it into an association where each of the minor arcana cards, the 2 through 10, were associated with a planet and a sign. And so each time you follow the astrological wheel, like you start with Aries, and then you go through the first 10 degrees of Aries, which is the first decan, and then the second decan, which is the second 10 degrees, so 20 or 10 to 20, and then 20 to 30 is the third decan, which is the last part of Aries. And so as the sun is moving through Aries, you're moving through these decans as well. And so each decan lasts about 10 days or so, and it kind of follows the astrological wheel. If you start with Aries season, and you can go all the way through. Now you could start, I just happened to start with Aries because it was Aries, and I had been hearing the last year or so about people doing Decan walks and how it was very interesting and very meaningful. And I used to listen to a podcast called Fortune's Wheelhouse with Susan Chang and then Marlene, and they are very much into the decans and tarot and astrology, as well as the Kabbalah, the thought system, the Picatrix, all of those kinds of things. I mean, they're very much into the history, and they've done lots of, I don't know if they still have a podcast or not, but they've done a lot of series, like going through each planet and the symbolism of each planet in astrology and in tarot and in Kabbalah. They've done series on each card. They have one episode on every tarot card. And I used to listen to it a lot because I used to be in the car a lot and I used to drive a lot. And so I listened to a lot of podcasts. I don't listen to very many anymore. Like usually, watching something on YouTube these days, but they do the Decan walks, and T. Susan Chang has at least a couple of books about the Decan walks, and there's lots of information out there for you, lots of videos, lots of places that you can go on YouTube and look up information. And I just thought that I would do it this year because I've been reading for a while now, and I've studied tarot for many years now, and I've studied astrology for going on many years now. And there's just always something more to learn, and there's always a deeper layer to uncover and something more interesting to do. And for me, I love to learn. I have a Sagittarius rising, so I love to learn. I love to take classes. I love to learn things. I love to expand my horizons. And so this is a way that I am doing that. So if you're interested, you can always leave a comment and let me know that you're interested, and I can tell you a little bit more about it, point you in the direction of some places to look. But those are two places, and I'll put some links down below for you to kind of start with the Fortune's Wheelhouse and T. Susan Chang and her books and those kinds of things, and a couple of videos that I've looked at. And so it's just another way to bring in a new layer to something that I'm learning. So your challenge, that was kind of my challenge, and that was my personal challenge to this Decan walk. But your challenge is just to look at something that maybe you've been interested in that you want to find more about, and set your timer for 10 minutes and do a little research. Go down a rabbit hole, but don't spend so much time in the rabbit hole that you lose track of the things that you want, that are more important, that you need to be doing. But it could be something that is important, that you really need to, that you're thinking, yeah, I really need to do this. I really need to find out more about it. So that's your challenge for today, is just to look at something that you want to find out more about, even if it's just something, just very just off the wall. And you just are like, I've always wondered about that. I'm going to take this next 10 minutes. I want to, Google it or YouTube it or something and find out something more about it. So that's your challenge for today. And I'll let you know about the Decan Walk as I go along. So far, I've done all the cards for Aries and getting ready to move into Taurus season. And it's been really interesting because I've been using some decks that are more geared towards like using soft cards and using cards that are more aligned to astrology, and some more kind of soft based decks. And even though, it's based more on the Golden Dawn, those the kind of the a lot of the layers come in with using those different decks. And so I'm using some decks that are different than the Rider-Waite-Smith, and different than the ones that I was trained on and learned on and read with. And so it's very interesting to look at that and to see some of the different symbolism and the different ways cards have been interpreted over the years, the ways that and again, this is just one system. This is just one person's kind of um, look at how this is going on and how this fits together, how all of these things fit together. And that's another thing that is really fascinating to me too, is how all of these things just fit and flow. And you look at this and you're like, oh my gosh, there's this coincidence. I mean, look at how these cards just fit, naturally with the wheel, how the astrological wheel, and how the zodiac, turns in cycles, and our cards turn in cycles, and the cards have the elements, and the astrology have the elements. And the Rider-Waite-Smith was these are what the illustrations are like, and then what they were based on, like all the pip cards that Pamela Coleman Smith illustrated. And so it's really interesting to see those layers and going back and seeing how everything fits together, and how everything's just this great big web that we live in, that we study in. And the more connected I feel, and that's probably my Sagittarius rising as well, but I think the more connected we feel to other people, the more connected we feel to our tools, the things that we're doing, the work that we do, no matter what it is, then I think it makes us a better person. It makes us happier. It makes us more inquisitive, more able to, more empathetic, and able to, just to really connect with other people, even if it's, connecting with somebody who, illustrated a tarot card, 100 plus years ago. So, looking at those things is very interesting to me. So look at something that you're interested in, no matter what it is, and see, because you probably are interested in it for a reason, and you'll probably find out that it's something that is, meshes with something else in your life, or it leads you to something new that you really want to find out more about. So that's your challenge for today. Just look at something interesting for 10 minutes, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.